I'd like to welcome y'all back to another episode of Beyond the Fear podcast, a place where y'all come for motivation, inspiration, uplifting, and overall positive message. I'm your host, DJ, and today's episode is inspired by a conversation I was literally just having not even 2 minutes ago. And that's that future, that bright future that you're planning or that you have in your head starts today. It starts with sacrificing things today. You have to understand that that bright future that you want requires sacrifice. It requires hard work. And it's so easy to get caught up in that trap of, well, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll start planning for the future another day, or, I'll start making those sacrifices that I know I need to make. I know there are changes that I need to make in my current lifestyle, or in the current way that I'm living life to get to where I want to be. There are things that I have to stop doing. There are things that I have to start doing. And, it's so easy to get caught up in that trap of I'll start tomorrow, or I'll stop doing this tomorrow, or, I'll get to it eventually. And for most of us, tomorrow never comes, not literally, but figuratively, that tomorrow where you stop that action, or you start that action, or you have that mindset. It never comes for most of us, because one thing that I do know is that a bad habit is hard to let go of. It's hard to kick a bad habit. It's hard to let go of, bad routines, because you get very comfortable with that bad routine, or you get very comfortable with that bad habit. And, when it's time to let it go, when it's time to have that mindset of, sacrifice, that's not an easy mindset to genuinely have, where you genuinely are sacrificing, you're genuinely working towards whatever it is that you need to work towards. It's not easy, you know what I'm saying? And so, I was just talking to one of my friends, and because she's way younger than me, and just trying to get her to understand that tomorrow isn't promised. And so ask yourself today, what are you sacrificing to get to the future that you want? What are you genuinely doing? What restrictions are you putting on yourself? What sacrifices are you really making? What moves are you doing? What are you adding to what are you doing today to set up tomorrow? What are you doing in this present moment to make sure to make sure that you have that bright future that you want, that you're promising yourself? What that these promises that you're making today for tomorrow, what are you doing to make sure that they happen, to guarantee that they happen, to put yourself in a better position for tomorrow? And so, like I said, she's younger than me, and so I understand how easy it is to get caught up in well, I got plenty of time, there's no rush. But to me, the thing is, there is a rush, because you let enough days go by of, oh, I will one day at some point. Then that just becomes the norm. That just becomes what you tell yourself to justify not doing the work. And again, like I said, I'm somebody who knows, because that's been my life, just justifying not doing the work, justifying quitting, justifying not even trying, justifying, um, not putting in the work, not doing the things that I know I need to do to get to where I want to be. And so I'm trying to get her to see that the mindset that she has right now isn't going to lead to what she wants. But, and I mean, and I even understand it when you also haven't made the right decisions, and you also, meaning me, myself, I haven't made the right decisions, and I haven't lived the way that I'm telling her to live. I'm doing it, or I'm trying to do it now. I'm putting in the work now. I'm making the sacrifices now, but I didn't back then. So I have nothing to show her, as proof, because, for a lot of people, they the thing that they're going to say is, well, you know, who are you to tell me when you didn't do it or when you? And I think that for me, the point that I'm trying to get her to see is you're exactly right. I'm not here to argue with you that I didn't make those decisions. I'm trying to show you I didn't make those decisions. I didn't make those sacrifices. I didn't show up for myself. I didn't do the things that I needed to do. Don't follow me. Don't follow what I'm doing. Do better. I'm not telling you this because I know, how am I trying to say it? I'm not, I'm telling you this because I know for a fact that the road that you're on, I know where that goes. You're going to be right here with me with a whole bunch of woulda, coulda, shoulda hopes and dreams that don't come true. You have to start making those sacrifices. And I'm telling you this now because you're at the age. I mean, it don't matter what age you are, start now. Whether you're young, whether you're old, now it's better when you're younger, but doesn't matter the age. Start now, start making those changes, start making those sacrifices, start doing the work now because that whole mentality of, oh, I'll get to it or I'll make it happen or I'll do it, it's never going to come. And I understand that better than most that, you know, it's hard to it's hard to make that change. You know what I'm saying? So try to do it. So I'm trying to get her to understand that it's better to do it now while you're so much younger and it hasn't maybe rooted in as deeply as someone who's 35, 36 like me. You can do it, you know what I'm saying? Because you're a lot younger. So start making those changes, start making those sacrifices. But also know I don't care what age you are, it's just not easy when you already developed these bad habits or, you know, you've gotten comfortable making these bad choices and now you've chosen, like I said, you've gotten comfortable. So now you live your life a certain way around these bad choices and around these bad habits that you have, you know, that's become a part of your life now. So it's not easy to work around that. And so, you know, just trying to just push in her head. And then, you know, sometimes I do get a little frustrated, but then I have to remind myself it's not about me. If I'm serious about wanting to help her, then, you know, just keep telling her as many times as I need to, as long as, you know, as long as I can get her to see at some point, let me just try it. Let me just see. Let me go make these sacrifices. How many times do I, you know, what has pushing this off done for me? What have I gotten out of letting go of not letting go of the things that I desire? You know, I have built a life of not making sacrifices or not sticking to this mindset that I know or that I believe is going to get me somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get her to see, like, okay, the choices that you're making, where has it gotten you? And if you need to hear it, and if you need to hear it from the standpoint of me, the choices that I've made, where has it gotten me? It hasn't gotten me anywhere. You know, I'm okay with admitting that because I understand that it's the truth. I understand that in order to try to connect with you, I got to be able to relate to you. So I can say, as a 35-year-old man talking to you who's over 10, 12 years younger than me, I'm in the same boat as you. I'm at the same level as you. I'm telling you that you don't want to be 35. You don't want to be on the other side looking at somebody, you know, fresh out of high school, whatever, in the same boat. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, you got to change your mindset. You know what I'm saying? And so that's one of the things that I understand is that you got to meet people where they are and you got to get as relatable to them as possible. So, you know what I'm saying? So I don't mind telling her I had very similar mindsets that you had. And now look at me, 20 years later, all those dreams and aspirations that I had, but I was never really willing to make those sacrifices every single day and wake up and make the sacrifice again and wake up and make the sacrifice again over and over every single day until I got to what I wanted. I wasn't disciplined enough to do that. And I'm trying to tell you, as a 35-year-old man, that's in the same boat as you or in a very similar boat as you. Don't make the choices that I made. I'm telling you this from experience. Go the other route, you know? And so it's just, it can be frustrating, right? Because you can see potential in people and you can see potential in their future, who they are, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't matter if they don't see it in themselves or if they're not willing to do the work and make the sacrifices to realize that potential. And it's just like I can sit back now and I can think about or I can realize the frustration that I may have given a lot of people because I was once her, that bright young person with so much potential who never really realized their full potential or hasn't, because I still have time, you still have those opportunities, who didn't realize their full potential because they weren't willing to make those sacrifices or make those changes or put in that hard work or do whatever, do all of those things that they need to do to get to where they need to be. So when I see her doing things very similar that I did, I'm trying my best to show her that the path that you're going down, there's nothing there. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a path full of regret, wasted opportunities, missed opportunities. And I just don't want her to look back 10, 12, 15 years from now and be like, man, I could have, should have, would have. And for me, I'm trying to be that person for her that I wish that I would have had, who, would have just kept being on me about, hey, you applied for that. Hey, you did this. What's going on? You started on this. What you waiting on? You know what I'm saying? Just to let her, just to try to show her like, you're playing. I know it's easy to say, hey, I want this, or, I'm taking this seriously. We can all say whatever, right? But what are you doing? What are you sacrificing? What are you changing today to make that bright future, to put yourself in a better position tomorrow? What are you doing today? What are you sacrificing today? What are you giving up in this present moment? What are you taking on in this present moment? What actions are you taking right now to better your position tomorrow, to put yourself, your future self, in a better position? And you know what I'm saying? And these are just, and honestly, these are questions that I'm asking myself. These are questions that I'm, having to wrestle with myself. Even doing, even doing the podcast right now, literally the thought came to me as like we were having a conversation, and I said, "Man, I'm not going to procrastinate how I normally do. I'm gonna go ahead and um, do this episode now." It's like 5, 6 in the morning. I don't even know what time it is right now, but just doing the episode right now because I don't want to keep having that procrastinating spirit on me. And things that I could have gone ahead and knocked out, I'm playing around, not doing them. So it's like, what am I doing to better myself? I don't want to just keep giving out advice but not taking it. You know what I'm saying? I think, and I understand that people hear you more when you're doing and not just saying. And so one of the things that I know that I need to start doing is just leading by example instead of just my words. I feel like my actions will have a better and bigger impact. So I have to start living the life that I'm trying to tell other people to live. I have to start doing the things that I'm telling other people they need to start doing. And so, in the spirit of trying to change, do better, make sacrifices to build that better future, I'm trying to do what I need to do. And that's what inspired today's episode, because I didn't even have this episode planned, but in the spirit of trying to do better, making sacrifices, making changes, doing better, I said, no, you know what? It's in my head. This is a great episode. This is something that this is something. This is my chance. This is a chance. This is an opportunity to say, I know how I normally do things, and I know that the way I normally do it can also lead to potential procrastination. So why not change? I'm talking to someone about making changes in the way they think, making changes in the way they move day to day. Why not also make that change? Why not do it? Be about it instead of always talking about it. And so, this will be a chance for me to start making those changes in present day to better myself and to better my future. And I can look back and I can say, hey, remember when I was having that conversation with you, boom, 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 I started doing things differently. And I know that that my future self will reap these benefits. But because I have the understanding that I have, I'm not worried about reaping the benefits now. I understand that I have to sacrifice now to reap what I need to reap later. You know what I'm saying? I know that the fruits of the labor that I'm doing right now, I'll receive that in the future. So, right now it's sacrificing. You know what I'm saying? Present day, it's about sacrificing things that I know I need to sacrifice because I know that I don't have the best discipline. I know that I'm not operating in the best way, in the most efficient way to get to what I want. I know that there are, excuse me, like I said, procrastination, laziness. There are things that I need to be working on to let go of, to sacrifice, to get to where I need to be. And so while I'm also trying to push her to get her to, see her potential, it's only right that I do the same thing for myself. It's only right that I do what I need to do for me to show myself that I deserve this. I've worked hard for this and I need this for myself, not just for not just for other people. I need to do this for me because I know how hard it is to get caught up in life and tell yourself, "Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I don't have time today." Or I just don't have time, period, right now. And how easily that can become your reality, and how easily you can just tell yourself something like that and you can just believe it because you're telling yourself enough. When in truth, if you were serious about it, there are things that you can carve out time. You know what I'm saying? Because there's plenty of times when we really sit back and we think about it. There are times when you're not doing anything productive, when you're just, just chilling, with your friends, whatever. But the point is sometimes you got to sacrifice that chill time. Sometimes you got to sacrifice. I'm not saying all your chill time and I'm not saying all your me time. I'm not saying sacrificing all of it. But if you can sacrifice an hour, if you can sacrifice 30 minutes, 2 hours, whatever it is, towards your goal, towards what you need to do, towards what you want to do for the future, for your future self, there's things that you could be doing right now, even if it's small. Like, again, one thing we talk about on this show is we we understand the importance of those small steps because we know that if you put enough small steps together, they're still taking you somewhere. You may get to that place a lot slower than the next person, but at least you're getting there. So, whether it's big victories, big steps, small steps, big changes, small changes, whatever it is, we celebrate all of that because it's all progress. Whether it's a big piece of progress or a small piece of progress, it's still progress. So we're all about celebrating the small victories. We're all about celebrating the small changes, the small steps that we take, you know what I'm saying? So it's not about, you know, that big change, that wow, everybody can see at the moment that it happens type change. It's those little changes that start to add up, that turn into that big change. It's that little progress that starts to add up, those little steps that start to add up, So no matter what it is, what can you be doing today to build that better tomorrow? What are the things is that you could be changing today about the way you view things, the way you do things, the whatever, how you move, the people that you move around, the areas that you move in. There's so many things that affect your mindset, that affect your tomorrow. What are things that you can start to change, or what are things that you can just, even if it's as simple as identifying that I need to change these things, whether that's your environment, the people around you, your mindset, your drive, whatever it is, what are the things that you can at least start off with identifying as things that you need to start changing and start either doing more, doing less of, getting from around this person, or starting to hang around this person more, whatever it may be, because it may be a mentor who, when you get around them, they push you to be great, and and you don't like it. It makes you uncomfortable because they're asking you to do things that you don't want to do, but you also know need to be done. Hang around those people more, those mentors or those friends who are doing things on the level that you want to do them on. Get around those people who push you to be better, who push you to be great, who want to see you be successful, and aren't going to play around with you, and they're going to demand greatness from you, and they're going to demand success from you because they see in you what you may not yet see in yourself. And so, I think that that's just as important. I've talked on here about the village as well, how important your village is, and having the right people in your village around you. So it's time to start building those villages, and it's time to start making sure that you have the right people around you to help you with the mindset of, you got to be willing to sacrifice, things today to build that better tomorrow, and working on that better tomorrow. But that starts today. You building that better future doesn't start in the future. It starts today. It starts right now. You have to do those things right now in current day. That's how you start building that future, because if you just keep telling yourself tomorrow, 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 tomorrow probably never come. Like I said before, for a lot of us, tomorrow never comes. And I'm speaking from experience as someone who always thought, oh, that's tomorrow's problem. I'll leave that for tomorrow's me. One thing that, and I mean, you don't realize it, right? At least you don't realize it soon enough. You know what I'm saying? Years go by, decade may go by before you realize, yeah, tomorrow's not coming. This, you got to go do it today. You got to go make those changes today. You got to make those changes now. You got to live in the present, because the past is happening. The future ain't coming. Right now, you know what I'm saying? Well, the future isn't here. So the only thing that you can do, and the only thing you can control is right now. You can't change what's happened, and you can't change what's going to happen because it hasn't happened. But what you can affect is your mindset right now, what you do today, what you have going on present day. That's what you can affect. And you just have to be willing to make those changes and understand, that that's the only way to build that better tomorrow, is doing what you need to do. And that's what I'm trying to show her, but I also understand that, when you don't want to, when you're not in the mindset of sacrifice, you're just not in the mind of sacrifice. I've been there, and, you know, you can't force somebody to be in the mind of sacrifice, or to have that sacrificing mind. Is something that, you got to go through to get to that point. It's something that, or you got to want it bad enough. And until you want it bad enough, you're not going to sacrifice. And that's one thing that I know from experience, that if you don't want it bad enough that you're willing to sacrifice for it, you're not going to sacrifice for it. So I can't change her. and I'm not trying to change her. I guess I am trying to change. I'm trying to change her mindset, and I just have to accept that I can't change other people, just like other people can't change me. That wasn't, if I already had it on my mind, like when I was younger, that I was going to do something or I wasn't going to do something, it wasn't much that somebody could do to change my mind. I had to go through it and I had to bump my head and I had to see, So at the end of the day, that's something that she's just going to have to bump her head and see. I'm just trying to help her not have to bump her head as many times. And I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? I understand that at the end of the day, she's going to have to make those decisions and she's going to have to do the work for herself. But if I can help steer her away from as many rocks as possible while she's on her journey, and what I'm saying, I can try to help steer her away from as many potholes as possible, I'll try to. But at the end of the day, just like with myself, she has to learn from experience. And sometimes life is the best teacher. Sometimes going through that pain is the best teacher to teach you what not to do. And sometimes you just have to bump your head. You gotta go through that pain and you gotta feel that frustration and that you gotta feel that loss. And you have to see people around you who made those changes and made those sacrifices that you did. Sometimes you gotta see them win and see them be successful and see them in places that you want to be in to motivate you to do what you need to do. So as much as I'm trying to, be a mentor or trying to help her see that, she may not have the best mentality for the future that she wants, I'm also realizing that at the end of the day, she gonna do what she's gonna do. And, you know, she gonna have to bump her head because we all go through it. We all go through that initiation of, like they say, you F around and find out. So, sometimes you just gotta go through it. There's no shortcut to this. As many times as we got people, and it's just so crazy because I know plenty of people who try to do that for me, try to help me understand things, and I'm pretty sure they had people telling them at a young age and so on and so forth. But I just go to show you that life has to teach you. But for the people who've been through enough life and life has taught them enough times, or for the people who are just open to embracing advice, listen to me when I say right now is the time. Now is the time. Now is the time to start building that future that you want. I don't care if it's that job, that house, that picture perfect idea of a life, the marriage with the kids and the picket fence, whatever it is that you want, whatever your future that you're dreaming about, whatever it is that you want for yourself, you gotta start doing it now. You gotta start making these moves now. You gotta start making these sacrifices now, these changes, whatever it is that you're trying to do or that you want for yourself. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't don't be mad because you didn't do it before or you haven't done it for years or you should have jumped in on that opportunity years ago. Don't worry about what the future has. Focus on right now. What are you doing? What can you do? What can you stop doing? Who can you get around? Who can you stop being around? Whatever it is, focus on the now. What are you doing right now? What can you do right now to better your future? Your future starts right now. Right now are the times where you need to be putting together your building blocks for your future. But that's it for today's episode. I want to thank everybody for listening on whatever platforms y'all are listening on, and to everybody watching on YouTube. Please continue to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I want to thank y'all for spending, this time with me. And I'm wishing all of y'all a happy new year. I'm praying that, this year is a year of blessings, full of blessings for all of y'all, and, continue growth for everybody, whether that's growth financially, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. I'm just praying for growth and blessings for everybody, all year long.